He is the Lord of Asgard. He is the God of Thunder. He is B tier? For how ridiculously OP Thor is in anything he's in this game, he's almost always ranked within the mid tiers. I see most players, even in the recent tier list, putting him in lower A, high B, which isn't bad, but it certainly isn't the highest rank in the game. Me personally, I think that Thor is one of the better characters in the game. In fact, I think that he is the best tank to play if you're a solo queue tank, because he is easy, he can do absolutely everything, and there's a lot of things in his kit that people don't realize because they haven't gone to the website yet. Ladies and gentlemen, the resident website checker is here to do the work for you. So today, I'm going to be teaching you how to play Thor correctly. Sit back, grab some snacks, and enjoy. First things first, we're going to go over the simple parts of Thor's kit, which are his normal attack, which is just his little hammer swing right here. This literally has like no tech to it. It does 45 damage every 0.6 seconds, which is pretty decent. It is very easy to heal through though, so you're not going to get a lot of damage just by doing this. You got to use your cooldowns in the middle of it. But luckily for you, that's kind of what Thor's entire kit is based around, because anytime you use one of these cooldowns, his hammer starts glowing and you can get your cooldowns Thor Force back. You need Thor Force for any of Thor's move except for his ultimate. So you definitely want to be doing that pretty often. That's really it. That's really all there is for this move. I mean, there isn't much nuance or tech to it. Like I said, it's literally just beat somebody over the head with a hammer. What more can you get?
Strikes a heavy blow.
Thor's other pretty simple move is his right-click projectile. This move is just kind of I almost never use it. Like I said, you need Thor Force to do moves. This is kind of a waste of Thor Force. The only time it might be useful is if you see a Luna Snow like this, she's kind of low. You can use it right in the middle of your hammer swing to get a lot of burst damage and kind of nuke somebody, but I'll show you a better option later that makes this kind of obsolete. So really only use this for like long range executes if you only have one Thor Force or just stuff like that. I almost never use this move, so if I were you, I would just ignore it. Now we can finally get into the meat and potatoes. Thor's dash is absolutely one of his biggest, if not his most important part about his kit. Do not use this move wrong. At no charge, you get 10 meters of movement speed, and at full charge, you get about 20. If you're trying to get to an objective or you just died and you need to get back to your team as soon as possible, the best way to do that, fully charge the hammer, then use it. Then the second it's off cooldown, do it again. Because what that'll end up doing is the second it's off cooldown, you'll get Thor Force back. So you're really not losing any. I've seen a lot of Thors when they're trying to get to objectives just like use the non-charge version. I'm like, guys, you're wasting so much of your Thor Force. And wasting Thor Force on this character is a death sentence. If I don't have Thor Force, I literally can't use any of my moves at all. Like, I'm literally stuck here. I can't dash. I can just hit you with my hammer. So if your only goal is to get somewhere quick, make sure that you're fully charging it. But in a fight, this move is a different story. As you can see, the Thor Force passive, every time you consume one of those bars of Thor Force, you get bonus health, specifically 100 bonus health. So what I love to do with Thor is get in the front line and just punch and keep on using the short dash on the tank or anybody in the front line. This will consistently disrupt them, keep them on their toes, keep them away from healers, and if you get behind them, you can keep pushing them all the way back into your team. Someone like Groot, someone with less mobility, completely gets destroyed by a playstyle like that. Let's say my team's all the way over there and I'm like right behind one of their healers. I can just literally just keep pushing them all the way over here, or just keep disrupting them and keep trying to get them closer to my team, so they really can't do much. It's a very disruptive playstyle that can really annoy people, and if you're against a squishy target with no mobility, it pretty much kills them every time. Plus, while you're doing that, you're consistently getting Thor Force back, and you're also getting bonus health every time you use one of these dashes. That's 100, plus 100, plus 100, plus 100, just over and over and over again. It is very useful. That's the playstyle that I would use when you're trying to be the tank, when you're trying to be, you know, in their face and trying to help your DPS get some kills. But if you see that your team has the advantage, let's just say that one of their tanks or their healers just died, and you know that you can go for the kill, that's when you start fully charging this move and going for their back line. You have 20 meters of range to completely fly towards somebody. And once you get on one of these people, it's GG. One final tip that I will say for this move is make sure that you are going up sometimes. I would do this more often than not because this disrupts them even more. If you look straight up when using this move, what will happen is they'll fall for a bit, giving you even more time that they'll be getting CC'd and just being even more of a nuisance. Their healers usually won't be looking up there, so you can help them maybe even dodge some healing and just be completely annoying. It's a very annoying way to do it. Next up, ladies and gentlemen, is probably the most underused move in Thor's kit. People don't understand how this move works because the game doesn't even tell you. The ability I'm talking about is his E, Lightning Realm, and what this does is that big little bubble that gives you Thor Force. People really only use this to give them Thor Force, but they don't realize is this move is a really good tool. Not only can you get Thor Force based on the people that you hit, but if you hit somebody with this move and they walk outside of the border, they get slowed by 30% and they take 40 damage. I have no idea why the game doesn't tell you that this move both does damage and slows enemies, but it doesn't. You have to go to the website to find this out. And that completely changes how I use this move. I used to just throw it out there whenever, but now I know this move is incredible for killing supports because you can slow them down and get an extra 40 burst damage. Let's just say I find the supports over here, I need some Thor Force, boom, I go over here. Now, I can even hit them out of these things if for some reason they're staying inside of it, which they won't. These guys are just stationary because they're bots. But if I start going in on him, he leaves that, all of a sudden you just saw he took the damage and got slowed. It happens both times too, so if they keep touching the edge of that, they will get slowed and they will take damage twice. I seriously couldn't believe that they didn't tell you this about this move. It completely changes it, and it really makes Thor do more damage and gives him a little bit more CC, which I thought Thor needed, and now that he has this tool, completely changes him. An extra 40 damage might not sound like a lot, but if you're diving a support, that extra 40 damage could be life or death for them. So the way that you should be using this move is dive somebody who you know you can kill. Don't use it on the tanks very often because that 40 damage is going to do nothing to them. Use your long range thing, go for a dive, immediately use it and start beating them up. They'll usually try to walk away, they'll walk out of it, take an extra 40 damage, get slowed for a second, and that should give you enough time and enough burst to kill them. Especially when we consider the best move in Thor's kit, which I have been holding off for all this time, which is his F ability, or his Awakening Rune. You consume all of your Thor Force, you need 3 bars of Thor Force for this, giving you 200 bonus health, and enhancing Muer Bash. These enhanced Mjolnir projectiles have 60 meters of range, and each projectile does 70 damage. Like, that's honestly more than some DPS characters. Watch how fast I can kill one of these tank guys. If I just hit every shot on him, he gets absolutely obliterated, and the move wasn't even over yet. I could keep going. This is why Thor does so much damage, is because if you get hit by these things, you are just getting melted by them. The amount of damage that Thor gets from this is crazy. Like, I'm almost destroying a Hulk in that one move. If Hulk has no healers, and I'm just hitting with that, and I have one other teammate helping me, we're going to melt this guy. But if you've been watching my channel, you'll know one very important thing. I don't hit the tanks. I mean, I do, but that's not what I'm going for, and that's not what you should go for either. If you want to win the games, you should go for the healers. How much damage can this move do to a healer? Oh, I see a Luna Snow right there. Let me just activate the Thor Force, and boom. 4 shots, and she gets completely eradicated. If the other healer doesn't look at her in time, she is dead. Wait a minute, you don't get just 4 shots in this. You get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 10. You get 10 shots of Thor Force. That's about 700 damage. But wait, there's more. What I just showed you is what most people already know about this move. Yeah, it's great projectiles, that's wonderful, but people like to use this like some sort of DPS sit back and range people out tool. No! If we go back to the website, you'll see a little peculiar thing here. Spell field damage. What is that? Well, if you scroll all the way down to this ability, you'll see special effect, inflict damage over time on nearby enemies. What? When I read that, I kind of blew up a little bit. I didn't understand what that would mean. I didn't even know that was part of this move. Once again, doesn't tell you in game. You gotta go to the website. So, let's take a look at what this looks like. If I use this move close range instead of far like most people do, they will slowly get hit by electricity when they're close to me. For a honestly decent amount of damage. Once again, any damage that you can get, you should try to get. So for this move, I would recommend 100% stop playing like other Thor players. You can range with this move sometimes, but the best usage out of this move is when you dive somebody, you use a full combo on them, you use your E ability, and then you completely decimate the healers. You could probably kill both healers in one of these moves in most fights if you get good as Thor. However, there's something very important to keep in mind about this move. Once you use this, you are stuck here for about 6 seconds. So sure, it's a very powerful tool. However, you can't use any of your mobility, and it only gives you an extra 200 shield. So you should only be using this if you know you have some backup, if you have some healers who are healing you, and if you know for a fact that you aren't too pushed up. Thor is not really a dive tank because he can't like escape like Venom or Hulk can, but he can still dive very well. He's a very good jack of all trades character. This is the combo that I usually use on Thor. I'll start up close with one of these, or it could be far away as well, just starting off with one of these. Then I'll charge up one of my dashes, dash into as many people as possible, use my Thor Force, and then use another one of these. You can get 2 rotations of these projectiles in one combo if you use it correctly. You use it first, and then you use it last. If you're able to do what I just showed you and get 2 of those off in one combo, it's almost a guaranteed kill on one enemy. I would say a guaranteed kill on both supports if you do it correctly. So try to practice that combo as much as possible. You want to use this first, kill somebody, or maybe just hit the tank, hit whoever you possibly can. Then charge up a dash, go into as many members of this team as possible, Thor Force it, and then go crazy. Go crazy on the back line. From this point, you should be cleaning stuff up, your team should be able to clean stuff up, and the fight should be over. And with that, we will finally speak about Thor's ultimate. Now, Thor's ultimate actually isn't the greatest ult in the game, I would say, but it's not bad either. Some people think that it's horrible for some reason. No, it's actually pretty dang good if you know how to use it. Like we talked about earlier, Thor actually does indeed have a slow. So, what I would recommend that you do for this move is you target the supports with it. Duh, right? That's what I keep preaching. Target the supports, target the supports, target the supports. But this move is incredibly good at killing supports because it does around 200 damage plus the additional electric damage that you get from the startup, which can kill most supports in the game very easily. And if you combo it like this, where you dash in on the supports, press E so they get slowed, and then immediately ult them, they're gonna be slowed, and you're gonna be getting that damage from the force field, so they're almost guaranteed to die. There's very little a support can do about this if they don't have any of their tools, so this is a very great way to kill both supports. The radius on this thing is great, and most supports don't have crazy mobility. Other than that, this ult's really good at just getting choke points or getting the team off the objective, but honestly, like I said, it's really just good for nuking the supports, and that's what I would use this for 24/7. Oh, I see Luna Snow there. Guess what? Good night. Guess what? Good night. There's no escaping that one. And then you can land and go into this and do even more damage to their team. This is like basically a second ult. This move is so crazy. Like I say, you shouldn't use it from range, but if you just see people in a doorway or something, you should absolutely be using it from range because the range this move has is ridiculous. If you're able to put all those tips together and use them cohesively, if you're able to keep your cooldowns on a good cycle, you will dominate as Thor. Like I said, I truly believe he is the best solo queue tank in the game because he can do it all. He can do DPS, he can be really tanky, and he is great at killing supports, which is what carries you through all ranks, no matter what rank you are. But with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to do it for today's Thor video. Thank you so much for watching, and if you enjoyed, please consider subscribing, liking, all that stuff really helps my channel out. I am a little bit newer to Marvel Rivals, so anything that you can do really helps my channel out and just gets my name out there. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you learned something from today's video. Let me know in the comments section who you guys want me to cover next or what videos you want next, and I'll be happy to make them. Thank you guys for being here, and I will catch you in the next one. Peace out.